We got two little short stories here. Okay, one is hilarious and another one is a follow-up from, I know we're doing a lot of this lately, just a follow-up from a story last week, the week before, I can't remember, the Joe Rogan stuff. It's already in the thumbnail. You already fucking know what we're going to be talking about. But we got a jogger here, you know, like a real jogger, uses his martial arts training to fight off a boy, 18, who planned to strangle him with a rope belt, or with a robe belt, and keep his body in a closet to fulfill his sexual fantasies. Don't worry, it gets crazier from here. Florida, of course it's Florida, man. Like, okay, come on. Like, does this guy look crazy enough to hit somebody over the head with a rubber mallet and try to blind them using Axe body spray in order to keep them in a closet, which I don't know how he hoped to accomplish, keeping somebody willingly in a closet in order to fuck at his leisure. I don't know how he's going to approach this, but we'll find out. A Florida teenager has been arrested on an attempted murder charge. He was going to keep him dead and fuck the corpse? Oh, god damn it, dude. For allegedly ambushing a jogger he had been stalking for weeks. Oh my god. I gotta switch up my fucking running trail. But then again, I'm, not susceptible to little weirdos, but whatever. And trying to strangle him with a belt as part of a twisted plan to stash his lifeless body in a closet to fulfill his sexual fantasies. Ugh. But according to court documents, 18-year-old Logan Smith's murderous plot failed when the victim turned the tables on him using his martial arts skills to fight him off and detain the suspect until help arrived. I know Aikido. I've watched many Steven Seagal films. Don't come any closer. Responding deputies discovered at the scene some of the items that Smith had gathered in preparation of the attack on the unsuspecting jogger included a belt, a mallet, deodorant spray, and a bedsheet. Sounds like a plot to a fucking episode of MacGyver. Nice area of town. I guess he'd have plenty of closets to stuff his lifeless gay lover in. Whatever. Smith was booked at the Brevard County Jail on Monday on a felony count of attempted murder and was ordered held without bond. Whoa. I guess his plot needed to be fulfilled, so they're just going to go ahead and keep him. It's pretty serious not to give him bond, but I'm not saying it's not unjustified and it's not deserved, but fuck's sake. Probable cause affidavit alleges that the sheriff's deputy arrived at the area of Batvia Avenue and Kings Highway in Cocoa? Sure. At around 1 a.m. on Monday, a weird time to be going for a jog, I guess, or maybe he was quasi-successful, for a report of a battery. According to the document, Smith had spread a bed sheet across his driveway of his home, armed himself with a rubber mallet and an aerosol can of Axe deodorant and a clothing belt. Unfucking believable. Smith then hid behind a light. So he had a mallet. Okay, he had a mallet in one hand, he had Axe deodorant body spray in another, and he was hiding behind a light pole just hoping to, surprise! This story is fucking hilarious. Smith then hid behind the light pole across the street and waited for his victim to come running down the street, where he would execute his elaborate Rube Goldberg attempt of just whipping up the bed sheet that the jogger would hopefully run on, I guess. I don't know, maybe. Running down the street, and he did regularly for exercise, the deputy wrote in the affidavit. As soon as the jogger ran past the light pole, Smith allegedly followed him and tossed the belt over his head until it was in front of his neck. The defendant proceeded to pull the ligature tight around the victim's neck for several seconds, which caused visible physical injury to the victim. It's not as bad as what happened to Smith afterwards. He shouldn't have picked on a black belt. The jogger quickly realized that it was happening and fought back, eventually overwhelming the 5'10", 200-pound teenager. Oh, he's got little man syndrome. Just can't quite make it to 6 feet now, can ya? The deputies responded to the scene, and the jogger then told them that he typically runs about 4 times a week. Oh, come on, you got to get those numbers up. And has never met Smith, but Smith has met him before, several times in his dreams. Seen him or spoken to him. The man further stated on Monday that he was jogging with his earbuds in, listening to music, when out of nowhere, RKO. Oh, he realized he was being choked, according to the filing. Victim, it just gets so funny when the fucking rubber mallet appears in view. The victim immediately realized what was happening and reverted to his martial arts training. It doesn't say whether or not, or what the ethnicity of the victim was, but maybe don't pick the only Asian jogger in your neighborhood. Just saying, you should have seen this one coming, pal. During the interview with law enforcement, Smith allegedly said that he first saw the jogger about 6 weeks prior and began watching his exercise routine, with or without Lubriderm. Just asking. Need to get a full picture on this one. 18-year-old admitted to the detectives that he decided to kill the stranger after watching a movie which showed very violent acts of murder and other homicidal scenes. Are you sure you weren't playing video games, son? Because we would like a landmark case on this one. No, you were just watching snuff films. Fuck. Without naming the specific film. I don't know, man. Maybe it was Iron Man 2? Iron Man 3, it makes me feel like I need to act out murderous and homicidal urges I have. That movie sucks so much dick. Like Smith. Smith allegedly planned to use the mallet to hit the victim and the Axe deodorant spray in his eyes to disable his vision, which wouldn't be necessary, and I guess he would hope that would shrivel up his eyeballs so they'd be easy enough to remove so that you could just keep him in the closet afterwards. He kills him. Like, how would you reconcile the smell? I don't think he ever thought that far ahead. Smith allegedly planned to use the mallet, yes, to hit him before strangling him with the belt and dragging his body on the sheet into his bedroom. Don't you think your parents might ask questions? Because you're 18 years old, okay? This looks like a pretty nice neighborhood, okay? Like, Jesus Christ, you gotta be a little bit more sophisticated here, my dude. Further planned to place the victim's body into his closet where the defendant stated no one would know. No, given enough time, people would know. People would be able to, knows. And the defendant could have the victim's body all to himself. Gross. 18-year-old added that he also planned to play with the victim to fulfill his sexual fantasies. What, dress him up in different costumes? Smith said that he had proclaimed that he had every intention to carry out a sexually motivated homicidal plot, but he got unlucky because his victim was stronger than he was. Did you never... Okay, listen. If you wanted to just choke out and keep somebody to use as a fucking doll, I guess, why would you go after somebody who's running, somebody who's exercising, somebody who's in theory... If you were watching him for 6 weeks, you'd know that this dude's probably in pretty good shape. Why would you go after that? I guess it was just, like most of your meals, it was just easily delivered right outside your house. Oh, well. Really does suck to suck. But you'll be getting plenty sexual fulfillment in the place where you're going, pal. Smith is scheduled to be arraigned on February 10th. If convicted, he could face up to life in prison. Life in prison? Just give him a few years and restrict his access to fucking rubber mallets. I'm gonna knock you out with a rubber mallet. Not exactly the first thing that you go through, especially if you're gonna end up killing him, okay? Oh my god, what an asshole. But we talked about this, like I said, I can't quite remember, but Joe Rogan, after that Dr. Robert Malone interview, over just about 300 doctors had signed a letter and sent it off, penned an open letter, and some of the doctors that were on there was, what was that? Oh god, that was that dyed-haired Dr. Cat. A fucking disaster. And then there was like one legitimate virus specialist, and it's like, okay, I remember talking about what are the quality of these doctors that are on there. Well, looks like some of the names that were on that list were identified, and they're about as qualified as you'd anticipate, okay? A veterinarian, a doctor, or a dentist, a DMD, and a podcast host. The majority of 270 doctors who signed a letter demanding Spotify take action against Joe Rogan are not medical doctors. Wow. But they're the experts on this one. They trust all the science, therefore they're the experts. Right. A majority of the 270 signatories to an open letter to Spotify accusing Joe Rogan of pushing anti-vax misinformation on his podcast, with one branding him a menace to public health, are not in fact medical doctors. How many chiropractors are on here? Because we all know that they have the biggest case of almost the doctor sick or symptom, or syndrome rather. It's not a symptom. Inferiority is a symptom. But that complex it's fucking hilarious. Hundreds of doctors and scientists signed the letter. Well, to be fair, it's 2. So that is, I guess in the loosest definition, is technically hundreds. Published January 10th, that called on the streaming giant to adopt a misinformation policy after the comedian hosted the controversial And the guy who architected the mRNA technology used in the vaccines, Dr. Robert Malone, last month. Now, 87 of the signatories are medical doctors. That's pretty good, but what about the nearly 200 other ones? What about the 180 other ones, though? That could be tough. Malone himself was a medical doctor from Northwestern University. Yep. So he's a medical doctor with years of research. Okay. Actively researching, still actively working in the virology field, but he's got 87 doctors that are calling him a menace, well, theoretically. Some of the other medical professions represented include Dr. Christine Garvey, a Western New York-based veterinarian. Maybe she'd like to talk about her expertise with ivermectin, horse paste. Maybe she'd big mad about that. Dr. Colleen Trechten-Frost, I'm seeing a pattern here, a dentist from New Jersey. Autumn Schuster, a social worker at the University of California at Irvine. She knows a doctor. Okay. Corrine Bricker has a dozen cats. Oh, I'm sorry. A COVID-19 laboratory supervisor, as well as a host of teachers. Yep. Engineers and psychologists. There's so many Redditors on that list. It's almost amazing. A few of the people signing the letter also work on podcasts like Rogan's. I'm sure it's probably a 1-to-1 apples to apples comparison between the Joe Rogan Experience, the biggest fucking podcast currently in existence, bar none, nothing's even close, and some cunt with a fucking microphone in her basement is not even close. God, where's the old mallet rapist when you need him? Oh, they're cute but lonely. Is that a little bit of peanut butter on his anyways? Forrest Valkai, he's kind of breaking the conditioning on this one. Describes himself as a renegade science teacher. Cool. I wish that wasn't his hand, but instead it was his head. And then you have a TikToker, Dr. Colleen Trechten-Frost. Oh, she's the dentist. Oh, she's just big mad because she has a size 7 head and a size 3 face. Big mad, I guess. Bridget Scallon, an MS, credits herself as the editor of the Unbiased Science Podcast. I would like to put that to the test. There's no way fuck I'd listen to that. Which calls herself devoted to objective, critical appraisal of available evidence on science and health-related topics. That's why she's criticizing the guy who invented the fucking technology. But whatever. Relevant to listeners' daily lives, and says it aims to dispel misinformation and misconceptions across an array of science and public health topics like vaccines. But she's unbiased, okay? But she follows the fucking government line, you can bet. April English, an MPH and signee, is a contributor to the Unbiased Science like Scallon. Unbiased, in name only. Shoshana Ungerleider. Why would I listen to somebody whose name sounds like a color and type of underwear? I don't care. Is herself also in podcasting. She hosts the TED Health podcast and the company that produces TED Talks. That's a little bit closer if she was, of course, a part of the TED Talks platform and not the TED Health podcast, which I'm sure receives dozens of active listeners. Very comparable to Joe Rogan's podcast. Very comparable. Apples to apples. It's just 1-to-1 comparison. Nini Munoz, I'd like to buy another letter for that name, is senior electrical design engineer at Garmin International. Oh, an engineer like Dr. Robert Malone. Except he's a doctor and you're an engineer. Impressive. What's your expertise when it comes to medicine? Well, nothing really medicinal, but she does work when it comes to innovating GPS technology across diverse markets, including aviation, marine fitness, outdoor recreation, tracking, and mobile apps, according to its website. She works at Garmin International. Okay, yeah, Garmin GPS. Again, it's probably used by doctors to get to their new offices. Maybe. Allie Ward, who couldn't afford the extra L, hosts the Ovaries podcast. Oh, Oligogies, whatever, the Empty Egg Carton podcast, which describes itself as a comedic science program. It has no medical degree, but is a co-founder of a science communication collective, Nerd Brigade. All right. Ward also works as a consulting producer for Add a Twist scientists A Netflix cartoon executive produced by Michelle Obama. Must be a trans endeavor. Some of the other members of the medical academic field included physician's assistants. They're like doctors. They're like nurses. They do 90% of the work, and then the doctor just comes in and write the scripts. They're the real heroes. Unless they're not vaccinated, then get the fuck out. You're not following the science. Do we have to pen an open letter to your hospital? Biochemist, nearly 100 PhDs and PhD candidates. Oh, almost doctors. You just quite haven't fucked your way through college quite yet, but you're getting close. You're getting close. Over a dozen nurses. Oh, you tried, but you just opted for that lesser route. Oh, sucks. Medical students and public health advisors. Yeah. 87 doctors. And yes, the renegade science teacher. I make science fun. You know, Andrew Garfield with a clap there. But if you'd like to learn more from the renegade science teacher, he has a podcast, a YouTube channel. Okay, just to close this out, I want to see how popular this guy is, because he also has a TikTok account, which followers on TikTok don't really count because TikTok isn't real. Patreon and a merchandise store. So this guy does a lot better, okay, to market himself than I do. I just got a YouTube, a Rumble, and an Odyssey channel, and the rest of social media is fucking AIDS. So let's just see. Oh shit, this guy's like actually really popular. Fuck me. I mean, he has 84,000 subscribers. That's fine. Okay. Does genetics support Adam and Eve? All right, at 33,000. Very good. Hey, he's actually got pretty good turnover. Tucker Carlson of Creationists. Okay. They're talking about bunch of very important things. Yeah, he has a lot of followers, not a lot of videos, and it just looks like not even that long ago. If we go back to here, it looks like he's just really kind of shot up, and he got 21 videos, and I just crossed 500 subscribers in November 12th of 2020. So he's been working on this for a minute, and he just exploded out of conceivably nowhere. Weird. Anyways. That's the quality of people denouncing Joe Rogan and, well, actually, more specifically, Robert Malone. And all of these people know a lot more because you got so many people from so many diverse backgrounds, like a vet, a social worker, science teacher, psychologist. Maybe they should take their own fucking advice. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun making it, and we'll catch you back with some live shit tomorrow morning. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.